Hey, how's it going, everyone? WTFSexyHeadphones here. Want to talk to you guys on two things today. First one going to be War Game, the Making of Stalker 2 documentary. If you guys have not seen it yet, fear not. Link is going to be down below for you. But goodness, from beginning to end, which is about an hour and a half long, it is just this very gripping. It is very, yes, gripping is a great word to put it. I'm Afterwards, I want to hit base with you guys on a little bit of Dogs of Chernobyl. It's been a bit since we talked about them, but as we speak now, Clean Futures Fund is in the zone. Not only helping the Dogs of Chernobyl, but also helping the babushkas with their cats, I believe. More on that later on, though. For now, let's look into War Game because you guys, I'm definitely going to have to watch this documentary a few times. Honestly, trying to figure out a way to put this documentary into words. I'm so discombobulated. It was such a ride. This is just going to be a passionate veteran Stalker fan going on and giving you guys a taste, a bit of details of just some of the things that some of the events and how I saw them, and giving you just a taste of the information that is in this documentary. But of course, there's no way I'll ever do the info justice to the documentary itself. So again, link will be down below. Check it out, which I'm sure you guys will. But going into it, the beginning of it was a fun treat because it went into the history of Stalker. Not just the history of Stalker, but GSC itself, which I believe they said started in 95, which it was 5 at that time, depending on the month. Gosh, I feel old now. But not only that, but they had details such as, I know I've seen this detail a few times, so it's like easy to forget because it's so different, and that's the fact that it was originally Mayan themed, because it's very hard to imagine Stalker ever looking that way, because we know it's so much not now, but such cool details and facts to go into. And then they really take you on a blast from the past, because you have that G4 news segment. There's a G4 news segment that pops up, and I don't think they're around anymore, I think, right? G4 is gone to my knowledge. I'm pretty sure that's a lot of it. So again, if you're a veteran Stalker, it's definitely a blast from the past and gives you definitely a way to feel old for a little bit. But it's cool because it goes into how Stalkers, the core of Stalker and the core of the zone and those feelings and atmosphere, but the fact that the reason Stalker captures people's imagination so well is the fact that it is grounded in a place that's real and a place that you can go, which is 100% true. Like, the exclusion zone is 100% a real place, and while the anomalies and things and the mutants might not be real that we see in the game, it's very much based well on the history that happens there, which again just gives it part of so much of that intoxicating atmosphere. I can definitely go on about atmosphere and Stalker all day long. I'm going to try and not go on a tangent. But the history that they got to go into with GSC members and some of them having family that tied back to liquidators in the Chernobyl event, who unfortunately some passed away of cancer and things like that. It's just this other nice kind of bit of history that shows you the tie-in of like the feelings and emotions of the people and everything that they are putting into this game, and how they're taking something that again was grounded in realism and bringing it to life and bringing those feelings, that atmosphere, those emotions to life through Heart of Chernobyl. It's just a phenomenal thing to see, especially because they talk about how, so those of you guys who might not know, the Chernobyl accident happened in 86, which was during when they had the USSR, and it wasn't until I believe they stated 91 that Ukraine gained their independence. So through this time, they mention that when Stalker came out, it was a really phenomenal cultural piece to have to give Ukraine, not to really give Ukraine, but to stamp their identity more from the USSR and from those times, which, again, just the whole history of it's just absolutely, it is very cool, you guys. I could go on and on about that history, too. Getting into Stalker 2 and when it was revived once again as a project, we go into more or less just when it started and then into the war that is happening right now that has really disrupted not only just life in Ukraine, obviously, as a whole, but particularly GSC Studios and everyone who works there. And you guys, again, it's just a very emotional journey, but it's an amazing one to see, especially for a lot of people who, there are plenty of people with questions in the community who are, why is the game delayed, this and that, and so forth, and this is just a very good thing to show everything that they have been through as a, not just as a game studio, but also as people themselves, their family, their friends, everyone that they know, their home. I can't imagine. It's very emotional, you guys. I can't imagine being in the shoes that they are in. I can't ever imagine having to leave everything I've ever known. And some of these people, a lot of people have had to do that. And so, yeah, it's very emotional. I'm like, seriously, it makes me super... makes me emotional thinking about it. It's super good. I'm going to watch it a bunch, honestly. But so, one of the cool things with GSC, going into the positives, because again, I'm getting myself emotional. One of the cool things with GSC is, as things were leading up into the war, they had such great foresight to their people and their planning and the company and things like that, to where they had buses ready to evac the moment things happened, and were able to, those who would like to, they were able to evac, which was nice. Again, like the company of the year, and then the next year, and then the next year award is GSC. Literally watching the they literally planned travel and lodge for everyone, and ended up getting their new base in Prague. And it's just, again, watching this whole story, I don't want to keep going into the emotional part because I just am not doing well with it, but it is honestly company of the year. We're just gonna leave it with the company of the year. Company of the year, the other year. The dioramas, let's go into that. The dioramas that they had in here were absolutely fantastic. Again, I think they're dioramas mixed with art. I'm going to show a few of them. It just shows, again, GSC's just the kings, queens, whatever you wish to call it when it comes to, I'm going back into atmosphere, but here it just can't not be done. They're the kings and queens of atmosphere, you guys. I really loved the diagram, the dioramas, or again, the art in there was super fantastic. I don't want to bring up that point. That point's depressing. I'm just skipping past that. I need to rein myself in, or I'm just going to keep going on tangents, I swear to Jesus. But to wrap it on up, you guys, as a veteran stalker, seeing how it has grown, what it used to be, seeing the community, interacting with the community all of these years. I think at 7 minutes and some odd change, you see Stair in costumes for the first time in there, and then he's of course at the very end as well. But seeing like on how like his journey and how he has got to be at Gamescom, being able to chat with him before, not in person of course, but being able to chat with him, but seeing his adventure and going into Gamescom, it's just so cool as a veteran stalker being a part of this community all these years, being able to meet Tommy at PAX, and being able to see some of these people in this documentary. Sorry again, we call Little Nick and Big Nick, but seeing you guys, it just is such a humbling experience. It's so, I've been in this community for a long time, you guys, and it's never not been amazing. And watching it grow, seeing some of the people grow, seeing how everything has gone, it's humbling, it's cool as hell. Like, I'm excited to be here, essentially. I'm excited to be here, you guys. But yeah, if you haven't watched it, watch it, because it is amazing. Yeah. Moving on to the dogs of Chernobyl, for those of you who don't know, sometime back in 2018, I believe it was, I had the pleasure of meeting one of the founders of Clean Futures Fund, which is Lucas Hickson. And that was because I was one of the few lucky people who were allowed to adopt a dog from Chernobyl at that time. Her name is Katya. She's 6 years old now, and she's doing fantastic. She's a bit of a quirky girl, but she is definitely well loved and cared for. But while you cannot unfortunately adopt a dog from Chernobyl right now, I did want to talk to you guys about what the program is doing currently in Chernobyl, because they are there right now, and kind of the programs that they have. In the past, you guys might have heard me talk about them before, because we've done some charity streams. Some of them were particularly for the dogs of Chernobyl, and then others were due to current events. We did some medical supplies for the soldiers, and then there was one that was some borscht soup and things of that nature. But yeah, let's go into just kind of some of the things that they are doing now, though. There are plenty of things that you can see that they do, but going in particularly to the dogs of Chernobyl, that program, they go in on campaigns where they'll go into the zone, capture the dogs as well as cats too, and they will spay, neuter, and vaccinate them. And then this year, as I mentioned, they were going particularly to also visit some of the babushkas that still live there and help with their cats. I assume same thing, spay, neuter, vaccinate their cats or whatever they might need, which is so kind of them. If you guys haven't ever got to see the Babushkas of Chernobyl documentary, speaking of all these documentaries, phenomenal one where they have got to meet some of those babushkas. Unfortunately, one passed away recently, Hana, I believe. But another amazing piece to look at too. Links for everything down below. But so along with that program, they also do a feeding program where they'll go and feed the dogs, and then they have a virtual adoption program where you'll get something like these little stickers here. These stickers, they have 7 of them, I believe, and you can get these QR codes. You can get they have a QR code. They have these QR codes that you can take a picture of, and it'll give you updates on the last time that they've seen these dogs. Or what the latest updates that they have on them is, which is super cute. So there's just different ways that, like, if you guys wanted, you could kind of support the cause and what they are doing. It's just something that I've been super passionate about for a long time, and have been following them ever since adopting Katya. So it's just been a super cool very, very cool experience, very cool group, amazing work that they do. Links for everything, of course, will be down below, you guys. Don't forget, feel free, everything I mentioned feel free to check out down below. It will all be there. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you liked it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!
Feel my power!